Hello. Anybody here? Let's see. Mm. Oh. Hello, Maho Maho. Anybody joining? Dr. John's or then we could do a little bit of forest before. Hello, Lucy. It's 2 hours later. It's okay. Better late than never, right? Are we still doing forest? We still up for forest? You still up for a little forest? Hmm? Can start it. Maybe later do this. You're the host. Yeah. Hold on. I have to load the game. Wait, oh god, I need sound. For once in my life, I need sound. You are hot? Oh, host. Sorry. I'm just thinking about something else. Multiplayer. Host. Continue. Alright. Uh. Yeah. Uh. You know. Things. Okay, I'm clicking invite friends and nothing's. Wait. Hold on. Dr. Johns is not even here. What gives, Dr. Johns? You're not even willing to quit your job to play Forest? That's not very dedicated. For you were dedicated to the game. Right. I feel like... Okay, let's go home. Did you join? 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 Oh, I forgot I'm playing with the controller almost. Oh, it's not even dead after one shot. Okay. The bow is not that great, I'm discovering. I had a better luck bludgeoning the... Oh, here it is. Because the arrow stuck. I've lost it. I don't see it. Oh, I've lost track of it. Wait, advice on what? What happened? I've lost the deer. Whatever. What happened? Which one's the... Clampriogery? What? What are you talking about, an entropy fan? God, we're gonna be talking about Trump today as well. Because of course we are. You know? It's just inevitable. We need to talk about this guy. Oh, I found a new outfit. Did it get automatically equipped on me? Or whatever? Wait, what was the advice? Oh, never mind. Uh, oh, that's funny. Wait, I'm pretty sure I put a rabbit trap somewhere. Oh, there are bunnies here. Oh, no bunnies are trapped in the rabbit trap. That's cool, even though there are bunnies right here. I saw bunnies here. Oh, wow. One sip and it's full. In Manitoba, pierogis are only a potato and cheese, and they have a particular kind of breading. Yeah. Gyoza are different than pierogi. And pierogis have all sorts of filling. It can be fruit, it can be meat, it can be cheese, it can be lettuce, a particular type of lettuce, and onion. Did I just hear voices? Oh, some random joined. Scrooge. So I guess you don't mess around. Should get Dr. John's, okay? Did he want to destroy our house? I think he wrecked the water collectors. How do I kick the randoms? Jesus Christ. I'm not even sure if Raiderang can hear me. I don't see the water collectors anymore. feel like they were near the house. No, not spinach. It's called kapusta in English, in Polish. Not spinach. Definitely not spinach. Kapusta. Oh, there's also the kapusta with mushrooms. Gosh, I have to Google it now. Cabbage, yeah, cabbage. But it's cabbage, but it's sort of fermented, I think. With mushrooms, for example, that also can be filling, not spinach. I mean, you can have spinach as well, but cabbage, yeah, cabbage. Oh, I'm hungry. And now I cannot see anything. Again. Once again, I do not see anything. A bench? What are you building? I really need to. Hold on. I wanna wait till morning, to be honest with you. I feel like I wanna wait till morning. I cannot wait to talk about Trump. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be amazing. What did you build, Greater Rain? So where are you? I don't even see you anymore. Wait, but where? Why so far away from our base? Am I crazy? Oh, okay. Can you get some? Okay, I'm gonna try to do it myself. Like, we got screwed by the random, which is not good. Uh, Yeah. We need turtle shells because that one person that joined for a moment sort of kind of destroy all of our water collectors. So I'm gonna have to go to the sea and, you know, build them again. Okay, that rabbit is fast. Mm, the best book? The manuscript found in Saragossa. There you go. That's the best book ever written. That's the best book ever written in the history of books. What? We were gonna build a tree house. Hmm. Is this hut too small for a bed? No, it's not. Huh. Oh. Don't I have a rope? I thought I have a rope. Oh no, I don't have any more. Hmm. I'm too over encumbered to carry more small meat. Jesus, I can burn money. What? Okay, whatever. Wow. I don't think the rotten food sat well with me. Uh, hmm. Where's Greaterite? I killed 2 birds. Hmm. Why didn't I gain any... What? Okay, I need water. We've been screwed on water. So I guess I have to go to the sea or whatever. Wait, there's a lake here I can just drink from? Was this here the entire time? You've got to be kidding me. Wow. That is wild. Hello. Huh. Is there a map in this game? I can. I mean, we already have rocks. Just come here and get them from the rock, you know, holder. We already have rocks. I need to kill turtles, though. Oh. A rock path to where? To this cave? Hmm. Molotov. I'm not sure what to do. Hmm. Did something happen when I was gone in the toilet? Oh, well, were we gone? What happened? Wait, were we actually gone? What happened when I went to the toilet? What the hell? Oh, well, I was gone too. Okay. Damn. We're gonna have to talk about the Trump thing sooner or later, won't we? Let me check something. This. Uh, uh, wait, hold on. Uh, I'm checking something in the browser right now. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So screwed up. All right. So that's not gonna happen. Hmm. Oh. Weird. Very weird. But whatever. Very weird. What does the cloth even do? Okay. Might I'll stop from the game and do political segments while Greater Rent is building our prosperity in the game, which might sound weird, but you know. Dr. Johns is not here yet. Okay, let's see. Where's the house? How do I get inside of this house again? Oh. Okay. Alt tab. I think the game does not have sound on Alt tab. Right? Alright. We'll do politics then. It's treason then. And I'll leave the game to Greater Rain for now. Where is it? It's treason then. What was that? What was that scream? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not getting out. I'm gonna do some politics and then. Whew, that was something else. Okay. Let me. Browser. What? Oh. Alright. Yeah, this works. So, I guess we're gonna start here with this Donald Trump, whatever this is, tweet, truth, whatever, truth social thing that he has posted about his recent talk with Vladimir Putin. I am afraid I have to inform you that the thing that many people said would happen happened. That a lot of the people that are basically native to this region of the world have been saying that the United States and Western allies broadly have left Eastern Europe to rot in the name of peace. It might happen again. We certainly hope it will not happen again. But all indicators, all signs seem to point in the direction of actually it'll happen again. Okay? It happened after World War One to some degree. It will happen. It happened after World War Two, definitely, when the entirety of Eastern Europe was just put under the so-called Soviet sphere, and it'll happen now because fundamentally the West does not care about this part of the world if it doesn't need to, if there's nothing of substance to be gained, which supposedly the United States had, or rather Donald J. Trump has seen some gain to be seen from supporting Ukraine if it gives it 500 billion worth of rare earth, which is basically the United States saying, well, if you want us to keep our part of the bargain from the Budapest Memorandum, then you better pay. It's going to cost us. Our protection slash support is going to cost you. And it's going to cost you a lot because, as I've read in the article yesterday, we don't know what will happen. Maybe Ukraine will exist as an independent country. Well, maybe Ukraine will be Russian in the future, and then we'll just look stupid for supporting Ukraine. So we have to get out of Ukraine as much as we possibly can in an event that Ukraine becomes Russian in the future, so that we don't look stupid for supporting it. So that has been the situation up till now, basically. And now the situation has slightly changed, to say the least. We have received this little summary of the discussion between Putin and Trump, and also a few more other statements. So let's start with this, because this whole thing in itself is quite interesting to me. I just had a lengthy and highly productive phone call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, which I don't even know what a highly productive phone call means in this context. Because to me, a highly productive phone call would be establishing a strong position for Ukraine for negotiation, would be saying that the United States will take a much stronger stance as an ally and will support Ukraine much more adamantly than Putin would expect. But I guess that is not the productivity that Donald Trump had in mind when he wrote this. Let us keep in mind that Donald Trump does not really care about Ukraine. He does not care about any of this. All he cares about is him being in charge of a country that is strong, that can just bully others to doing what it wants. Might makes right. International law doesn't matter. We've already seen that in the way the ICC has been sanctioned by any sort of international treaties don't really matter as well, since he's been tearing them up. The treaties that he himself signed, he's been ignoring them or just ending them on a whim. So international obligations and treaties don't really matter. Soft power, I guess, doesn't matter for the United States, since USA has been responsible. He just does not care. He does not care about, especially about the obligations such as the Budapest Memorandum. He does not care about the importance of Ukraine in the region when it comes to Europe and more broadly the world. Those are things that he does not really take into consideration when making decisions. We discussed Ukraine, the Middle East, energy, artificial intelligence, the power of the dollar, and various other subjects. We both reflected on the great history of our nations, which, again, Vladimir Putin knows a distorted, or rather sells a distorted form of history. And to be frank, I don't even know if Donald Trump knows any of American history. So I'm not sure how this reflecting on the great history of both nations looked like in practice. And the fact that we fought so successfully together in World War II, remembering that Russia lost tens of millions of people and we likewise lost so many, which already is a testament to what I said about Trump not knowing anything about history, anything about what happened, anything about, I guess, World War II as well as this war. First of all, it wasn't Russia, it was the USSR. Second of all, a lot of the people that died were Ukrainian and Belarusian, proportionally to the entirety of population. A lot more Ukrainian people and Belarusian people died than Russian people in World War II, and a lot of Ukrainian people were in the Red Army fighting against the Nazis. So this whole argument is just ridiculous. And also, it made me laugh a bit when Trump wrote here, Russia lost tens of millions of people, and we likewise lost so many. When we take into consideration that um the USSR lost over 20 million people, I believe, and the United States had lost a little bit over 400,000 total in World War II. So, like the disproportion, the language of likewise we lost so many, it feels kind of comical to me. But it just demonstrates once again that Donald Trump does not really care to know any of his own country's history. Uh, and of course, Russia lost. Russia lost tens of millions, like completely ignoring that the realities of which groups actually lost the biggest amount of people. Okay, those are those realities. Let's continue, because this is just, and it just we're gonna see that it's just gonna, I'm not just nitpicking a little bit of a silly text. This all builds up to the fact that Ukraine is in fact being more evidently uh, well, backstabbed by the West, by United States right now primarily. But we already know, or at least I already know, that the West collectively, as in the European Union, is actually no better, not much better when it comes to tangible support. Billions and billions of Russian peoples have died in World War II. So many beautiful young soldiers have lost on both sides. Germany also. Trump is talking about World War II. No, he said likewise we Americans have lost so many. Okay, let us continue. We each talked about the strengths of our respective nations and the great benefit that we will someday have in working together. So, I'm sorry, this just reads to me as sooner or later we will return to business as usual and we will be just buddies. We will be just two strong bullies on the world stage that will not care about international world order, will not care about any sort of semblance of international law. We just won't care about anything. We'll be strong. We'll be able to bully others. But you know what? Since we're both strong, we'll sort of have this begrudging respect for one another. So we'll be cool. We will be cool. At the expense of countries like Ukraine, of course. But first, as we both agreed, we want to stop the millions of deaths taking place in the war with Russia/Ukraine. Okay, what does this statement mean? What do you mean? Okay, this sentence structure just doesn't make sense. We need to stop the millions of deaths. I have no clue where the millions of deaths even came from. No estimation of casualties, even if you combined Russian and Ukrainian deaths together, will not come to millions. Okay, it just won't. So let's just put that to rest. Let's put that to bed. Like as much as this war is the biggest war since World War II, it's not as big as World War II. People make this mistake, and I guess Donald J. Trump decided to ape this mistake here. Just because this is in fact the biggest war in Europe since World War II, it does not follow that the scale of this war is as big as World War II. Okay? So no, there are no millions upon millions of people dying in this war with Russia/Ukraine, which I have no clue what that even means. It should be war of Russia against Ukraine or whatever, not war with Russia/Ukraine. I'm not sure what the implication is here. President Putin even used my very strong campaign motto of common sense, which I'm not sure why Trump is so proud about the fact that Putin joined him in this brainless slogan of common sense, which can mean anything you want at all times. You can insert anything into common sense and just say, oh, we need to kill all the people in this village. We need to shoot them in the head. Why? Well, it's common sense, of course. Common sense is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. So, of course, Putin would give him that phrase, which made Trump very, very happy with himself. His campaign motto, his strong campaign motto, common sense. We both believe very strongly in it, which means that you don't believe in nothing because common sense does not have a tangible, specific meaning. It can mean anything you want, basically. We agreed to work together very closely, including visiting each other's nations. I'm not even sure if that's true, or if the same amount of munitions have been used. Like you had thousands upon thousands of planes used in World War II. Okay, let's see. Visiting each other's nations. That's great. That's meaningless again. We also have agreed to have our respective teams start negotiations immediately, and we will begin by calling President Zelensky of Ukraine to inform him of the conversation, something which I will be doing right now. I have asked Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of the CIA John Ratcliffe, National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and Ambassador and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to lead the negotiations, which I feel strongly will be successful. You see, I know it might be confusing, but you should watch second episode of Smiling Friends Season 2. It's called Mr. President, and I don't know how, but they've predicted everything. I'm not sure if I haven't seen... God. I'm not sure if I haven't seen it. Actually. Ironically enough, in Ukraine as well. I'm not sure if I actually have not seen this episode in Ukraine. Was it about them helping some guy win a campaign? Oh god, I don't even remember. Even though, technically speaking, I've watched it fairly recently. Alright. Blah 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 blah, which I feel strongly will be successful. Millions of people have died in a war that would not have happened if I were president, which is a lie on both accounts. Millions of people have not died. The war has been already happening during his first term, but he did nothing about it. Thank you. It was a smaller scale war, still a war. But it did happen, so it must end. Wow. So it's such a deep statement. I don't even know what to say to it. No more lives should be lost. I want to thank President Putin for his time and effort. Yeah, because Putin has been famously always putting so much effort into stabilizing things and respecting Ukraine's borders, sovereignty, independence, what have you, self-determination of Ukrainian people. Yeah, that's President Putin's effort, of course. With respect to this call, and for the release yesterday of Mark Fogel, a wonderful man that I personally greeted last night at the White House. I believe this effort will lead to a successful conclusion, hopefully soon. Of course, the question is, what does a successful conclusion mean? And what it means for Ukraine, what it means for Russia, what it means for the United States, what it means for Europe. Because it seems like those successful conclusion scenarios do not align among those parties. Okay? I would expect that the successful conclusion for Russia will be completely different than that of Ukraine. But for some time, I naively thought that for the US, a successful conclusion will be the same successful conclusion as for Ukraine. But it seems like that's not really the case anymore. And we're gonna. That's not even X, that's Truth Social. That's not even X. So yeah, that's not even true anymore. So I have here me see. I guess surrender and betrayal. US EU officials condemned Trump Heget's comments on Ukraine. Because let's just go to this Heget, whatever, comment, because it's important before we can move on and talk about the backlash, question mark, which usually does not really amount to much. Like, I don't even know what this greatness, this supposed to be, indicating. So, Donald Trump discussed the war. We all know that. He said it. Phone call. Big step forward is diplomacy. But what will that diplomacy lead to? Who knows? I mean, we already know. Basically, we already have pretty strong indications as to where the US loyalties lie. Rare earth. And the later statement that we are about to hear. Okay? He will be phoning Zelensky. After speaking to the Ukrainian leader, Trump said the conversation went very well. However, Trump said that he did not think it was practical for Ukraine to have NATO membership. So there we go. Already the cracks are starting to show. Security guarantees that are absolutely necessary for Ukraine, like NATO membership, off the table. US troops presence off the table. And as we will learn soon, actually to a large degree, European Union troops in Ukraine as peacekeepers, not present, not in the amount that Ukraine is expecting. So, realistically speaking, what is Ukraine left with? Is a security guarantee. Nothing. Maybe that is why Trump so flippantly said, who knows if Ukraine in the future won't be Russian. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. And if you look closer at the Western policy when it comes to giving Ukraine any real security guarantees, any sort of power to bargain, any sort of power to repel future attacks, then the statement that we don't know if Ukraine will be in future Russian or not becomes completely reasonable and logical. Because we don't at that point. We actually don't know what will happen if we just abandon Ukraine to the winds. Do we? No, the answer is not, of course. We don't. We absolutely don't. Zelensky's office said that Trump and Zelensky had spoken by phone for about an hour, while the Kremlin said Putin's call with Trump lasted nearly an hour and a half. I had a meaningful conversation with President Donald Trump. We talked about opportunities to achieve peace, discussed our readiness to work together, and Ukraine's technological capabilities, including drones and other advanced industries, Zelensky wrote. Here. The Kremlin said Putin and Trump had agreed to meet, and Putin had invited Trump to visit Moscow later on Wednesday. Trump said the meeting would probably take place in Saudi Arabia. Okay. So that is this, Saudi Arabia. Kremlin, Putin, and Trump had agreed to meet. I'm just noticing that this is becoming a which of course everybody feared, a discussion of the United States and Russia above Ukraine, with Ukraine having little to no say as to what the shape of that peace will be. Very classic behavior which has been done historically time and time again to this region. So I'm not sure if to be surprised by this or to say that it's just precedent that is being kept. It's a tradition that is being held and continued proudly by certain parties. Trump has no, Trump has long said he would quickly end the war in Ukraine without spelling out exactly how he would accomplish this, which of course he won't. It's impossible. We all knew that it was impossible. We all mocked it from the beginning when he said it. It was quite obvious. It wasn't a mystery that it would be an impossibility for him to quote unquote end the war in 24 hours. Was it? Yes. Was I'll end this war in 24 hours because yeah, that's how that works. Definitely. You just end wars in 24 hours without problems, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is, as they say. Jesus Christ. Okay. So yeah, blunt assessment. Oh, so this is another piece of the puzzle that we need to understand what's going on. Earlier on Wednesday, Trump's defense secretary Pete Hegseth, I guess that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, sorry. Hegseth delivered the new administration's bluntest statement so far on its approach to the war, saying recovering all of Ukraine's territory occupied by Russia since 2014 was unrealistic, as was securing its membership in NATO. So, in one fell swoop, um, there's an official statement of the Budapest Memorandum has always been a useless piece of paper that you could use as toilet paper, quite frankly. That's out the window. Nothing that we can do can realistically bring back the 2014 borders, which, by the way, I don't believe so. I don't believe that in the slightest. I believe that that was very possible. I believe that it could have been achieved if the West did not drop the ball on aid, which it had. But that's neither here nor there. If now the reality of the situation is that if the biggest backer of Ukraine decides now that um, getting back the territory from 2014 is unrealistic, then even if it's not, it is de facto unrealistic, because if the United States are not willing to back it, then it just won't happen. I don't know why in Saudi Arabia. Second, NATO, one of the only strong security guarantees that Ukraine can count on not to be attacked again by Russia in the future. Already pissed on completely. I mean, this we've known for a while. Now we're getting another official confirmation. Trump has been saying all this time for a long time that no, Ukraine should not be joining NATO. Now we're getting this. So, what exact security guarantees is Ukraine left with? Do egg prices go down at least? I don't know. Maybe. We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. That's a lie. That's clearly a lie. If you don't want Ukraine to regain its territory, if you don't want to give Ukraine any security guarantees that are tangible and real, that will actually prevent Ukraine from being invaded in the future, then no, you don't actually want like anyone, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. You don't care about Ukraine at all. In fact, your president said that we don't even know if in the future Ukraine won't be Russian. So that is not really an indicator that you want a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. That is a clear indicator that you just don't care what happens as long as you profit from it. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective, which is a lie. I'm sorry. Whatever realistic objective is what the US is willing to back. And all this translates to not that it's an unrealistic objective. What this translates to is the United States of America are not willing to back this objective. That is the reality of what is being said here. The United States will not support this objective, not that it's unrealistic. Hegseth told a meeting of Ukraine and more than 40 allies as NATO headquarters in Brussels, chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering. You will only prolong your suffering is a very tired slogan. But what can I say? What can I say? What the United States are not willing to back will not happen. That is true. That is in fact true. If the United States does not choose to commit to a goal, then it automatically becomes an illusionary goal, yes. Hegseth said any durable peace must include robust security guarantees to ensure that the war will not begin again, which is a very ironic statement with considering that the same guy said that securing a NATO membership was unrealistic. So what sort of security guarantees are we talking about? What sort? Oh yeah, and of course the US is not also willing to commit any troops to Ukraine. So what are the security guarantees? How are they tangible? What are we talking about? What are those robust security guarantees? He said the US troops would not be deployed to Ukraine as part of such guarantees. So the US talks about robust security guarantees, but is not willing to provide any of them in practice. That is great, isn't it? The United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement. There we have it. France, Germany, and Spain said Ukraine's fate must not be decided without Kyiv's active participation, which seems to be that the United States does not hold such a view, at least anymore, ever since Donald Trump took office. With French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot saying Europe would play its role in offering security guarantees for Ukraine even if NATO membership were not immediate. I'm sorry, what are those European security guarantees again? Because I have an article out there somewhere that says otherwise. But what do I know? What do I know? Zelensky offers minerals in a desperate bid to actually maybe, I don't know, make Trump help in any sort of tangible way, which of course is not a guarantee at all. Okay? At all. Yeah? Zelensky hoping to keep Trump interested in continuing to support his country, because this is where it boils down to, which, by the way, as I said, a lot of those rich earth minerals are in occupied territories, which could also be used against Ukraine, since Russia can turn around and say, hey, we have those too. We can offer those too. But that's neither here nor there. Has lately proposed a deal under which the United States would invest in minerals in Ukraine. Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Kyiv on Wednesday, on the first visit by cabinet members in the new U.S. administration, said such a mineral deal could serve as a security shield for Ukraine after the war. No, it couldn't, because Russia could just leverage it with its own minerals that, ironically enough, come from the occupied Ukrainian lands. A lot of them do. So what sort of guarantee is this if Russia can just approach the deal man, the deal maker, and say, hey, we've got a counter deal. We've actually got all the things that Ukraine does, and we're willing to give it to you. What now? What now? What's the... And now fights... The security shield crumbles. The cookie crumbles. It's not totally out of the question, considering that Russia has access to those minerals, as far as I know. So what would stop Donald Trump from accepting such a counter proposal? Exactly. His morals, his moral compass, his little, I don't know. He would feel bad? No. If it would be good enough, he'll accept it. Of course, he will. No peace talks have been held since the early months of the conflict, now approaching its third anniversary. Trump's predecessor Joe Biden and most Western leaders held no direct discussions with Putin after Russia launched its full scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Right. During the war's first year, Ukraine succeeded in pushing Russian forces back from the outskirts of Kyiv and recapturing swaths of Russian-occupied territory, which should be an indicator that the goal of retrieving pre-2014 borders is not as unrealistic as some people claim. But I guess that was just a fluke. But Moscow has mostly had the upper hand since a failed Ukrainian counteroffensive in 2023. We're not even going to get into the details of why this counteroffensive failed. Let's just say that the United States also had its hand in it, okay? The United States is not blameless in this counteroffensive being not successful. It's not off the hook. I'll be right back. I'll go to the toilet. Okay, I'm back. I suppose I'm back. Sorry. Sorry, Dory. Um, what are you doing? My brain got frozen. I want to continue this segment. Yeah, I just wanna continue this segment. I suppose. Oh wow. One moment, because this is just what the hell. Hmm. Hmm. Hold on. Uh, 999. I suppose. That's weird. It's gonna be hell of a 4 years. Buckle up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Moscow has mostly had the upper hand, not thanks to Moscow's prowess, by the way. Has been We've talked about this a million times. It has been gaining ground slowly but surely because the West has dropped um, the ball, has shown its ass. It's not just the United States. The European Union is equally to blame, especially since the European Union has a bigger interest in uh, supporting Ukraine, to be frank. Okay? The European Union is not off the hook in this whole equation. So, Russia occupies around a fifth of Ukraine and has demanded Kyiv cede more territory and be rendered permanently neutral under any peace deal, which means we want you to be ready for our next attack and we want you to be um, kindly drop your pants and bend over for the future. Ukraine demands Russia withdraw from captured territory and says it must receive NATO membership. That won't happen, as it seems, or equivalent security guarantees, which I have absolutely no clue what that would be, to prevent Moscow from attacking again, which I guess we're in an impasse because it doesn't seem like those sort of guarantees will be a thing, okay? Uh, mm, all right. So yeah. Blah, 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 Moscow attacking. So yeah, we don't know what the guarantees could be that will actually mean anything in a substantial way, and you're gonna see in a moment why. Okay, we're gonna be witnessing why that is the case. What the equivalent of NATO would be, I don't know. I have no clue. It seems like nobody does, and it seems even worse that nobody gives a damn. Nobody cares. Kiev would need army as big as Russia. In recent discussions, Kiev appears to have accepted that it will not be admitted to NATO soon, but he emphasized its need for military support under a peace deal. If Ukraine is not in NATO, it means that Ukraine will build NATO on its territory. So we need an army as numerous as the Russians have today, Zelensky said in an interview with The Economic published on Wednesday. And for all this, we need weapons and money, and we will ask the US for this, Zelensky said, describing that as Plan B, which will not happen. The US will not do that. I don't think it's just the US. There will be no invitation to NATO. We already know this. The remark that Ukraine's membership of NATO was unrealistic, Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz said on Wednesday that there is no point in getting one's hopes up. Ukraine has not yet received an invitation. He noted that other NATO members had also previously opposed Ukraine's accession, Germany and the US most notably. Kosiniak-Kamysz also said that Poland does not plan to sending troops to Ukraine, adding, "In my opinion, soldiers contribute less than investments." I'm not sure if he means as peacekeepers or if he means right now to actually support Ukrainian troops on the ground. But either way, it's not good. It's not a good statement to make. It's a cowardly statement to make. Let me see. Okay, we can forget about this now because there's a bigger thing that I want to emphasize. There's a bigger thing that I want to talk about, and that is exactly that. United, the European Union won't give Zelensky 200,000 peacekeepers. So that's not happening. Zelensky's advocated for a substantial European peacekeeping force of some 200,000 troops to uphold a potential ceasefire. That's not happening. So yeah, analysts cited by the New York Times consider this figure unattainable, noting that deploying even 40,000 troops would be challenging and could still fall short of providing an effective solution. So, to reiterate, to summarize, I'm not even sure if we have to read past this point. No NATO, no US troops, barely any European Union troops. What are those security guarantees again? I highly doubt that the European Union and the United States are willing to just um, supply I don't know, fund a robust Ukrainian army, pure Ukrainian army that will be as big as Russian and better equipped than Russia in order to deter a future attack. I just have a hunch that that's just not happening. That is not happening. Okay, that's just. So, what sort of security guarantees are we talking about again? Because just nobody seems to know the alternative to NATO. Nobody does. Recent reports by the Financial Times and Politico also indicate that while blah blah blah, um, the outlet suggested that lower figure is more feasible, but more, which doesn't mean that it's feasible, it's just more feasible, though the EU would still face difficulties assembling a force. The US won't send a force, the EU will struggle to send a force. And besides, Moscow opposes the introduction of international peacekeepers in Ukraine. Russian officials have argued that the move could escalate tensions and complicate efforts to resolve the conflict because I guess the only way to resolve the conflict is to give Russia a carte blanche to just come in and, I don't know, take over Ukraine as a whole. Russian ambassador to the UN Vasily Nebezhny stated any deployment of peacekeepers to Ukraine without Moscow's consent would be illegal. What? What the? Why? That makes no sense. Warning that they would be considered legitimate targets. How? How would they be illegal? Now we're getting to the brunt of it. No, Ukraine can receive no foreign forces on its sovereign territory without Moscow's consent. Oh yeah, that is totally a sign of a country being sovereign if it cannot receive any troops on its own territory without Moscow's consent. That's great. That's cool. That's sovereignty. That's a new type of sovereignty, like limited democracy, limited sovereignty, limited everything. In an interview he called the rumors about the possible deployment of peacekeepers bizarre, noting that they cannot operate without a mandate from the UN Security Council, which Russia is a part of, and where it holds the right of veto because it's a really stupid organization, which, by the way, the US is planning to leave. Russia remains opposed to a freezing of the Ukrainian conflict and the introduction of peacekeeping forces. So basically, Ukraine is left with absolute zero security guarantees. Zero, null, zero, nada, nothing. It's gender fluid. Yeah, sure, I guess. Moscow insists that Kyiv must commit to permanent neutrality, demilitarization, and denazification while acknowledging the territorial realities on the ground. So, castrate yourselves, give us territory, and accept no security guarantees. Maybe then we can have peace. Also, pants down, bend over. You get it. You get it. So yeah, that's the situation. That is how the so-called collective West is handling its support of Ukraine. We've done it. Amazing. Well done. Great job. Great job. Who would have seen that coming? Not me. Alright then. I guess that's gonna be it for today because we've been streaming for 1 billion gazillion hours or something. I don't even know how much because apparently the stream died for a moment. 2 hours. It's fine. I'm gonna finish for now and I'm gonna continue tomorrow because I have an early start tomorrow. Yeah? Oh, Dr. Johns, you've returned just in time that we're finishing stream. Maybe we'll play some later, but I haven't already started, so. Okay. I'll see you later, okay? I'll see you later. Maybe during the day we'll play some Forest to make it up to Dr. Johns. Okay. Who do we rate to? Aiko, Mrao, Vegcom. Who do we rate to? Maybe. Oh yeah, and also I'm gonna be appearing on a show tomorrow called In Time. So look forward to that. I've been invited to do a little bit of talking. Wait, Two Guys Talking History is live now? What about the Wookiees? Two Guys Talking History is live now? In 5 minutes? Do they have it set up? Like on a weight screen or whatever that I can raid into? Okay, yes, they have. Okay, I'm gonna raid it. Alright. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Good night. Yeah.